I've been doing some home reno work in this lovely neighborhood of West Van. It's a little gray today, but it's a beautiful spot. Big concentration of wealth here, it would seem. And I'm not a person who is skilled at renos. So basically, instead of saying renos, I guess I should say I'm doing labor. Anyway, it's been very nice. And the way that it fits into the very long ongoing road trip is we're still getting some absolutely epic, incredible views, having nice walks, seeing all sorts of nice gardens. In fact, West Van, with its concentration of wealth, has an advantage over the rest of us plebs in the summer. It's one of the cooler spots in Vancouver because it's planted. We're walking in just a residential area, just your average everyday houses, as you can see. Is this the view part? Well, all that part that looks like gray white fog is actually a long view of the ocean out toward Vancouver Island. So, anyway, that was anticlimactic. There's lots of little shortcuts built into everyone's little back alleys and stuff. We're just walking down to what is essentially Park Royal Shopping Center. You like your park on an angle? Ba-boom. It's a very good neighborhood. There's a beautiful bridge, and somewhere over there is a secret passage. There's more of that view. It's June, and this is the weather. Let's hit that secret pathway. I don't know why I'm tiptoeing. No, I didn't notice this last time, but is this a bamboo? Bamboo will take over everything. Bamboo can grow anywhere, I guess. Little hidden trails all over here. Fun. What? Beautiful view of downtown Vancouver. Hey, correction. That's not downtown. That's Metrotown. Oopsie. Third try, and there it is. Look at that, it's Brentwood Mall. We're just guessing. We're saying all the names of all the malls. That's Metrotown.
Or Brentwood. It's one of those.
Or Brentwood. I think it's Brentwood. Hey, Brentwood?
I think it's Brentwood. Brentwood.
Hey, Brentwood? Hey, Brentwood?
Brentwood.
I also say Brentwood.
The wet weather came with some fun challenges.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. Yeah, go. Hey. This glamorous van life. Oh. Wow. It's a rainy day today, so let's get cooking. I want to show you how to make a delicious vegan chickpea flour omelette. It's a standard recipe, but here's how I do it, quick and easy. Black whip. First up, let's make the filling. Let's start by slicing up these mushrooms.
Slicing on a mandolin with no guard seems like not much room for error.
So you just gotta slice them up. It's no big deal. When I'm slicing stuff, I always do the onions last if it makes sense for the dish. They're not sitting out making me cry the whole time. Might seem obvious to some folks out there, but if you're a novice or new to cooking, maybe that's a part of your process that you haven't previously considered. Next up, onions. Now don't be impatient. Make sure you let that oil get nice and hot so it travels quickly over the pan. And we get a nice fry started on those onions right away. Let's salt those just a little bit. Once the mushrooms go in and this cooks down, we can start the omelette itself. It all comes together quick and easy, so don't you worry. Once your onions have begun to brown and are translucent like this, it's time to add your mushrooms. I'm still going to leave the onions at the bottom. And then once these soften, I'm just going to season them a little bit. Next up, we're going to season them. So these look really nice. Just onions and mushrooms and salt so far. But mushrooms go incredibly well with nutmeg. So you can also use allspice for a little bit of a Caribbean twist on it. Allspice and thyme. That's quite nice as well. Okay, so now we just reduce the heck out of these mushrooms. We're going to go covered uncovered. I'm going to cover it to start so they soften. And then when we want to cook the water out of them to reduce them down, I will take the cover off.
Flour, new bowl, coconut milk.
So I can see the mushrooms letting go of their juices. Just reduce them down so this filling really resonates. And then a tiny bit of re-seasoning and salting if it's needed. 1 cup of chickpea flour.
I'm going to whisk it up, get rid of lumps, make sure it's nice and fine and fluffed up and airy. And of course, tend to your mushroom filling. We also need a teaspoon of turmeric, a 1/4 cup of nooch, and stir that together. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So I do half coconut milk and half water. You can add all water if you like. So we need a little under 1.5 cups. And there's my approximately 1 1/3 to 1.5 cups of liquid. I'm just going to stir it until relatively smooth. And we have to let this sit now so it can rehydrate for approximately 20 minutes usually. So we've been working hard on our filling. You can see we're getting some brownness, and that's getting nice and reduced. The next step is to add a bit of spinach. A handful of maybe 2 cups worth of spinach. You're just going to put it on top. Spinach and some greens, because it's a mix. It's what I got. And we're going to do that thing we did before. We just cover it a little bit like that. So it's been a couple minutes now. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty nice. Spinach goes real small when it's cooked. So this filling does 4 smaller ones. You can add more spinach, more greens if you want. I kind of like it in this zone here. A little bit of green, a little bit of mushroom. I'm just going to taste it. No, pretty good. Got the nutmeg and the thyme coming through. That's quite nice. I'm just going to give it a dash. Come on back for the next step, omeletting. We're going to let this filling cool a little bit, transfer it into a different container, and get back on the pan to make what essentially is just a pancake. We've let it rest, and it could actually be a little tiny bit thicker, but for now, I'm not going to worry about it. There was a step that I wanted to show you. You could absolutely start cooking those as they are, but in my case, I love putting a bunch of greens or herbs like parsley, cilantro, mint, spinach, diced collard greens, chard. And what this does is it kind of lets you get a little bit of a texture enhancement. In this case, I'm going 1 bunch of cilantro in there, and I'm just going to stir it right in to the whole deal. Now earlier, I did not add my namak yet, my black salt, sulfur salt.
You should add this always toward the end because it can lose its flavor a little bit. So we're going to put about half a teaspoon in there. I'm going to break up those little clumps so they don't come back to haunt me. Stir it up. And let's let it thicken just a little bit more. So there's what it looks like. Okay, you can do this with some of your extra spinach. You can even put the filling you made right in there and then just make these as pancakes. But I'm going to do it a little bit fancy, like an omelet style, so I can show you a way to present it that is simple. The total time we've spent on this so far has probably only been about 15 minutes, and they cook up real quick. Heat up a skillet. I used a little bit of cooking release in there, and we're going to let that pan heat up, and then we're going to hit it. About a half cup per omelet, maybe a little more to spread it out. We are waiting for the bubbles. Indicator bubbles have begun popping up, but they need to stay open and holy. So just keep an eye there. And right about here, let's get the lid on it and just trap some of the heat in there. So we'll serve it up with a nice salad. So now we've got our filling. Let's get it on there. Let's get it on. Oh yeah. And remember, you can thin these out to a crepe style. You can make them pancake style. Oh, look at that. There it is. That's a nice fold over. So there it is. And this makes enough for about 4 omelets like that. So quick and easy, ultra cheap, delicious. You can make it with literally any combination of everything. You could go all out and do vegan ham and cheese. You could do all the meaty, cheesy things you remember, or you can just keep it simple and go mushrooms and spinach and garlic and onion like I did. They're all excellent.
You can even pour them into little muffin papers and make little muffin quiche hybrids. Try 30 minutes at 350 degrees to start.
Looking pretty good. Now for my last trick is just not breaking it as I get it on the plate. And there you go. Look at that beautiful chickpea omelet and side salad. Let's go eat! So there we go. I found a good process. You get some on the pan. You let it just start to get to that point there. You cover it. Make sure you set those delicious bubbles in. Give it some heat. Let it cook on itself and hydrate. Let that the greens inside of it soften a little bit and keep it moist. And then you got your nice crispy edge to come back to. Really only takes a little bit. Yeah. Once we got a cook on the edges and you start to see a darker yellow come through, that is when you can add your filling. And remember, you can also just add your filling at any time into the batter and just cook these up like traditional pancakes. This omelet way is quite nice. Very nice indeed. Look at that. Another perfecto little omelet. Let's let this last one cook up. Just showing you the process. But it's time for a quick bite. You can add some more namak at the end to make it even eggier. That's delicious. It's quick. It's high in protein. It's healthy. You can make the powdered mix ahead of time and keep it going in a fix. Oh, delicious. So, did you make it? What did you put in yours? Tell me in the comments. For Vegan Everywhere, I'm David.